Hello everyone, happy Saturday. Welcome to my channel. My name is Sybil and I'm participating in the Scrap Bin collaboration hosted by Megan W. So this is called Scrap Bin Saturday and we are using up our scraps. And there are a whole bunch of us participating in this collab, and I will have everyone's YouTube channel and some of their Instagram links down below in the description box. So please, I hope that you visit every channel, watch our videos, get some inspiration, give us a thumbs up, and leave us a sweet comment. We would really appreciate that so much. So today, I decided to make some cards using my scraps, of course, but I wanted to do kind of like for the first couple of cards, I wanted to share with you a really fun way to use scraps that you like and that are so pretty, whether from a card kit or a paper pad. And you know how when we make a card, we're often left with strips of paper. Well, this was the case with a card kit that I had purchased from Simon Says Stamp. I loved the paper pad so much. And one of the sheets had a bunch of little like borders. So I cut the borders with my scissors. You don't have to use a paper trimmer on that. You can, but I found that it was easier for me to get a good cut with my scissors, just following the lines on the paper. And then I also used scraps of paper. Once I had cut a sheet down, and this is not just for a card kit, but any type of paper. A lot of times when I'm making cards, I'm left over with, strips of paper in various sizes. So that's what I decided to use, was put a bunch of those strips together, trim them down to where they were pretty much the same size, made kind of like a pretty little pattern on my paper, and then I adhered them to my card base. And so I'm going to move these out. So like I said, you don't have to use a kit, just any paper pad that you use, and you have scraps and you don't want to throw them away because you really love that paper pad. This is a great idea of how to, use all of that paper. And as you notice, some of these strips are, skinnier than the others, and I even have even smaller ones than this. And I wanted to show you that it's a really good thing to have various types of tape, and you don't have to use a certain brand, but it's great, and usually as crafters, we have a whole lot of different tapes in our, collection of adhesives, I should say, because I know I have a lot of adhesives. So this is a good way to use those up as well. So for the really skinny strips, I would use a precision tip glue. And like I said, you can use any glue, but I love that precision tip on this glue. So that helped me to be able to glue those skinny tiny pieces, and then also score tape, and it comes in various sizes. And so there's a couple different sizes there, but this one in particular is real good for skinny strips. So if you have that, that'll work. And like I said, if you don't have that, then you can use just a different type of glue. And another thing that I think helps a lot is using a repositional adhesive, because when you figure out the pattern that you want with these strips, you want to be able to have the ability to move the strip if you've glued it down and it's crooked. So that's just an idea. And maybe you glue down, you can put your strips down really good. For me, it never fails. There's one or two that I get, crooked. So having repositional tape or using a glue gives you some time allowance there to adjust it. And I also use stickles on these first two cards. And then I just pulled out some little flowers because I used some flowers. I tied bow using my scraps of twine. So there's some more scraps, not just paper scraps. And What you did not see here was my paper trimmer. You can also just use your scissors. And my hot glue gun. I did use those. So let me kind of move this over to the side here, out of the picture. So here is my first card that I did with those strips of paper. And see, there's one that's super duper skinny. So having that glue really came in handy. And I'm gonna hold it up so you can see it. And I'm gonna see if, I never know if I'm picking up the little itty bits of diamond stickles or not. But all these little strips, I put them down on the table, I measured them out, and then I cut them all even and put them on a card base. There's nothing on this in the inside yet because I'm not sure who I'm going to send this to. And then there was this little, I don't know what you would say, cut apart on one of the pieces of paper. So I cut that out, I trimmed it down, and I popped it up. And then I added my twine. I did a double bow there and put a flower there on the center. And I kind of wanted this to all go together. I love this paper pad so much. And I've pretty much come to the end of it. I just have a few strips left. But I have the bicycles because I love riding bikes. So this strip here that says enjoy the journey, I thought went really well with this, with the bicycles. And then here it says make room for what matters. Breathe deeply, learn something new, choose simplicity, and keep growing. And so the live in the moment I thought went perfect with that. And oh, I wish my little stickles would show up. Maybe they are. Maybe there they are. I've got little bits on all the flower centers. So just a little dabble do will make it nice. So there's the first one there. And then I did this one the same, except for the bottom, I did use a punch and made a pretty little border, but it's pretty much the same thing. I popped up one of the cut aparts. It says, when you love what you have everything you need. So isn't that fun? And there's another little bow with another little flower center. And once again, I put the little bits of stickles here and there. So those are the first two. And I'm going to share with you two more cards that I made, and then I'll let you go. But I want to pull out some items that I used for these first two cards as well. And I want to kind of show you some ideas which you can use. And that's what's fun about card making. You can use what you have on hand, especially when it comes to using scraps. So let's see. Okay. So I did use some Pretty Pink Posh sequins on one of the cards. And so I used this Marvy jewel picker. My very first time using it, it's got a small little sticky end, and then it has a large sticky end on the other side. And where has this been all my crafting life? One of the best things I've ever purchased craft-wise. I love this. Made picking up those little itty-bitty sequins, which you'll see on one of my cards, like a piece of cake. Perfect. I also used my Nouveau shimmer pen in clear. I used the multi-matte medium to glue down my sequins. And I used some, let's see, embosslets. Now, I don't even, do they still make embosslets? I haven't bought any. I only have two. I haven't bought any for, I don't know, 10 years or so. But I got these from Stampin' Up! That long ago. And I've kept them because I love these. These are beautiful embossed butterflies. And then this one has the hearts. And I did not make a card with the hearts, but I just wanted to show you that that's one of the things that I did. I did cut out a bunch of hearts for future cards. But I do want to say that if you have punches, you don't have to have a die machine. If you have punches, You can use a punch and cut out several shapes, whether they're hearts or circles or flowers or whatever, and then stack them like you'll see on my cards here. So there, right there, you see the butterfly? There's 3 of them there. Maybe if I hold it that way, you can see the 3 layers there. So I made a whole bunch of those, and I did use my hot glue gun to glue these because I noticed when I used just a regular glue adhesive, it didn't stay, you know, because I wanted these to bend and to be able to move, kind of like have some movement. Well, look like it has movement on the card. So hot glue gun worked, and here's one of the hearts. And also I want to tell you that if you don't have punches and you don't have a die machine, you can, you know, trace out little hearts, little shapes. You can also cut them out from paper. A lot of our cardstock, our scraps, have pretty shapes, pretty flowers, and you can cut those out, fussy cut them out. So, and then I also wanted to share with you that I used, these are called Valentine borders. There's 3 in the set from Lawn Fawn, and so that's what it looks like when you cut them out together. You get the hearts, you get the little scallops, and you get the little arrows there in the center. So I just used the little scallop. Okay, so let me move these away, and the first card I made with the butterflies is this one. So each butterfly has the 3 layers, and I went over the center butterflies with the Nouveau glitter, shimmer pen, I should say. And then this one and this one, I traced around it with the shimmer pen. And again, I'm not sure if that's going to show up, but I put it on some cardstock, and this is such an easy card to make. And then I added this little chipboard piece that says Pure Happiness. And there's that little scallop border down on the bottom. So really fun way to use your scraps. And my last card, and there it is. You can see 3 rows of scrap paper there. They were each a little bit longer, and I trimmed them down with my paper trimmer. And then this little butterfly, I'm not sure if you'll be able to pick those up, but it's tiny, tiny polka dots, and I love polka dots. So I cut out some more of that scrap paper, and I mean, it was just like a little piece, a little strip of paper that I had. So I cut out the 3 butterflies and with that embossed lid, and then it also cuts out small butterflies. So I ran it through again and cut out some more little tiny ones. So I added 2 here, and then put down a beautiful doily. Added some really pretty pink posh sequins just around here and one here. And then I also cut using that little scallop, a couple little borders. Put one here and one here. And that's that. And isn't it a pretty card? No stamps. And I thought about, should I put something on there like a word, a sentiment, a phrase or something? And I liked the way it looked, so I was happy. Just the way it looks. So I hope this gave you some ideas, some fun ways of using your scraps, your leftover cardstock, you know, from a paper pad that you really love and don't want to throw away. Make some pretty cards and send them on their way and put a smile on somebody's face. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you all, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye now. Have a lovely Saturday.